Hello, I'm Zach OJ. I wanted to share with you a great tool that I use for my own mythic rating and progression things and just improve myself as a player. The tool I wanted to show you all is Lorrgs, Lorrgs.io. What this website does is it takes the top 50 logs from any spec on any difficulty you choose, whatever you'd like to see. It shows when somebody used a certain ability, which you can toggle a bunch of different abilities or externals and things that they got. So, for example, if I wanted to go on Cabeza and I wanted to see when somebody was cloaking, I could look down here and let's see. Okay, it seems like half of these people are playing with a cloak on 39 seconds, 40 seconds, 39, 39, 40. And there's a different group that's doing 109, 110. And there's a different group that does 201. This one's a little weird at the start, 157. So from this website, I can get a pretty good gauge on how people are using their defensives or their offensives. At the top here, I could select whatever class that I wanted, which you go up here to switch to classes. I could look at outlaw, subtlety. So just in general, having this website to show when somebody's using something, the biggest part for me is the defensives. So if I wanted to see, oh, okay, these guys aren't using Feint very much on Silken Court, but you'll also have to take into account this is the top damage logs, so the top 50 DPS logs. So now that I've introduced the website, the way that you'd really get value out of this is going to something where, let's go to, let's say, Cabeza, where your defensives are like very strict and very useful. And I want to know when somebody's using their Cloak of Shadows. Let's see, so these guys were using that at 2 minutes, 201, 205, 203. And so if I wanted to just export this straight into my game, I can. So if you've watched the video that I made on the MRT tool, you'll know that I'm a big fan of this, the MRT reminders, where here's my queen note, just a random thing. If you haven't watched the MRT timers video, the reminder video, I'll link it in the description and I'll put it at the end of the video so you can go watch that. In that video, I explain what I use this for, what it's useful for, and how good it is. And I think you should be adapting to this and using this for your next tier. I mean, start getting used to it now, but the way that I can use this in tandem with the website is I could go on here and let's say I want to see, okay, when is the evasion as well? Let's put that in there. So now I could go here and let's get Flambeau's stuff. If I press this little note right here, I go in here and I can put my name in there as well, Zach OJ. And then I click here, copy, and then we go right here, import from note, paste it in here, and then any of these little things I want to do, add to reminders. Boom. Test this, and this is what it's going to look like in my game. Just to show evasion, there's my cloak. So I don't put my name inside of it. You can just copy it like this. And then if I were to from note here, add, I'm gonna add double, but you see the cloak is just an icon right here. Sorry, the evasion is just an icon here. And so that's one of the biggest parts about this, and it's only half of it. So this applies to DPS players. You can find out when people are using their defensives, as well as if you wanted to look into this deeper and see, okay, why is Flambeau pressing his stuff right here? Okay, we go into here. I also think this is random, by the way, and a disclaimer. I think I recognize this name, and I'm pretty sure he's doing the thing where they all die at the end and proc his ring. So let me look real quick and let's see how much damage. Okay, he is doing that. So there's another disclaimer is this is done by the number of damage or the amount of damage someone does. That's what it's rated as. And you have to keep in mind that Warcraft logs filters out some of the stuff, which I think they're going to be filtering this soon. Things like this early on in the season don't really apply. Like they're not really a big issue, but something else is like if I were to go on to Outlaw Rogue for Cabeza, I'd see as well, this guy did 2.4 million damage because there was an exploit with Outlaw, as you can see by how many times they're just pressing Adrenaline Rush and keep it rolling. So you'll have to keep in mind that it's not always going to be the best players up here. Some things are going to be exploits and stuff like that, where I think Lorrgs just hasn't figured out how to like filter out the same way that the Warcraft logs does. Because if I go to Outlaw right here, you'll see the top guy is doing 1.9 damage, 1.9 million. You see he's right here. So take each part of this with a grain of salt and try to do your research on specific things and not just blindly copying stuff, because especially when it comes to the fight timings, people are going to do more damage if they press their CDs at the very end. Like this guy per se, he did a lot of damage because right here at the end is when his CDs got pressed and it ended right as his stuff was ending. So the faster a boss kill is, the more DPS they're going to do. But generally, if you look at this whole top 50 and try to get an idea and gauge really what's going on in here. So yeah, this is Lorrgs. This is a great website, great tool to really show a visualization of what everyone else is doing, really. And it's a great way of catching up to other players that have already killed the boss before you and learning from what they do, learning their defensives, finding them out, and even copying them to a note and putting them in for you can really help your play. So if you haven't watched the MRT video, I'm going to link it right here. I appreciate all the support, and if you enjoy higher end raiding stuff, tools, tips, assassination rogue stuff in general, then consider subscribing, because I'm going to be putting out a lot of stuff like this, especially in Season 2. I'll have a boss guide on every single boss, showing my parses, showing how well I do, and explaining to you what I learned and how to do the same thing as me. So thank you for watching, and best of luck.